What's happening to everyone? Welcome back to ZE. Let's talk about taxes, or at least states that don't have an income tax. In case you didn't know, there are 9 states in the United States that don't charge income tax, and that's a good thing. In most people's opinion, the people that don't think this is a good thing are typically politicians and some people who are kind of ill-informed. I shouldn't say ill-informed, they just have some opinions that might not be correct. The second fallacy is that they don't have any money to invest in things the state needs, like schools, even though 4 of the top 10 states with the best economic outlook do not impose income taxes. Not always, but 2 of the states on this list invest the least per resident in infrastructure, one of which has an infrastructure grade of F and invests the least per resident in infrastructure for schools. The third misconception is that they'll simply move you elsewhere and impose more taxes there to make up for the absence of income tax. I discovered that this isn't always true while doing research for this article and spoke with a tax officer. Wyoming is the 9th state on the list. There are many reasons to relocate to Wyoming these days, but the lack of a state income tax is at the top of the list. No state income tax really benefits lower middle class and blue-collar workers the most, but if you are thinking about moving to one of these states to lower your tax bill, talk to a tax professional before you do to make sure you aren't getting screwed somewhere else. Wyoming falls under the category of having very low taxes overall, not just on income. In addition to not having a state income tax, they only have a 4% sales tax, and local municipalities can add up to 2% to that, making their average tax rate about 5.39%. Groceries and prescription drugs are also exempt. In terms of property taxes, I won't go into all the details. I'll just say that Wyoming is tied for having the 10th lowest rates in the country and has no inheritance or estate taxes. Bravo, Wyoming. If you could just improve your infrastructure, you'd be in a much better position. Number 8, Washington. I frequently consider moving to Washington State for the income tax break, but after having my tax professional look at it, he concluded that while I would save some money overall, it wouldn't be enough to justify making the effort to relocate. However, since my situation is unique compared to yours, especially if you work for a company and don't own a business and things like that, he advises that you speak with a tax professional. Washington is still regarded as tax-friendly, but if some of these laws are passed, it might be a little less so. Number 7, Texas. You know it's a good thing Texas doesn't have really high property taxes. They do have some inheritance tax for things over like $2 million, and there's some other things about business inheritance tax, things like that. The national average for sales tax is 6.35%, and Texas is 6.25% at the state level. However, local municipalities can add up to 2% to that, bringing the state average to 8.19%, which is significantly higher than the national average. Groceries and prescription drugs are exempt, as they are in many other states. Texas property taxes are tied for 7th in the U.S. Number 6, Tennessee. State has no inheritance or estate taxes. Tennessee does not have a state income tax, but their sales tax is complicated. I won't get into it, but I will tell you that it is the highest in the country. The state sales tax is 7%, and local municipalities can add on up to 2%, and many of them do. As a result, their state average is almost 10%. This is one of the states that actually taxes the groceries at 4%, along with other items. Number 5, South Dakota. South Dakota, the Mount Rushmore state, doesn't impose a state income tax, which is evident when you look at their per pupil spending, which is actually less than that of any of the top 5 states. The state does have a 4.5% sales tax, and local governments can add their own 4.5% on top of that, giving the state's overall average sales tax rate of around 6.4%. If you want to move to South Dakota and buy some land, keep in mind that the median property tax rate in this wonderful state is well above the national average, but they don't have any kind of inheritance or estate tax in South Dakota. Their groceries are also taxed at that full rate of 6.4 on average, while their prescription drugs are exempt. I'm not sure why, but whenever I mention South Dakota in a video, people always comment on how lovely their governor is. She is an attractive woman, but I'm sure she is much more than just a pretty face. She is the governor of the friggin' state. Let it go. I'm not sure what that's all about. Every time, a bunch of lonely guys are hoping that the governor will create an account for OnlyFans or anything strange online once she's through serving as governor. 4th place, New Hampshire. New Hampshire is one of the best states when it comes to taxes for the average Joe, i.e. blue-collar middle class, lower class. This is the place to live because there is no state income tax, no sales tax, and only a moderately high property tax, which is great if you're a renter. There are taxes on dividends, investments, and other things of that nature, but as far as your paycheck is concerned, there are no state or federal taxes. Number 3, Nevada. The majority of Nevada's economy is built on tourism, particularly the gaming and resort sectors, which are all concentrated in and around Las Vegas and, to a lesser extent, Reno. They do have a state sales tax of 6.85%, and local municipalities can add 1.53% to that to give them an average combined rate of 8.23, so that's where they stick it to you in Nevada, and really that's about it. Their groceries are exempt, and so are prescription drugs. Gambling taxes are the main source of state revenue in Nevada, so they don't need the residents to be paying any of their income. Nevada is a good option because its property taxes are among the lowest in the country and there is no inheritance or estate tax there. Number 2, Florida. There are many reasons people relocate or retire to Florida, including its sunny climate, low taxes, and the need to see men sporting mullets 30 years after they were out of fashion. This is especially true of Florida's central and northern regions, where big trucks and mullets are consistently a wise choice. Florida has no state income tax, but it does have a 6% sales tax, and local municipalities may add an additional 2% to the total average for the state, making it one of the greatest states overall in terms of taxes because they are on our list. The property tax exemption rate of 7.01% for groceries and other items is roughly equal to the national average, and Florida has no inheritance or estate taxes. Now, let's move on to number 1, Alaska. Alaska is undoubtedly the state with the lowest tax burden because it has no state income tax, making it one of only 5 states without either. However, local municipalities can impose their own sales taxes of up to 7.5%. It's not horrible because the statewide average is only 1.76%. No state income tax is one thing, but Alaska actually pays you to live there. It's not much, and we've talked about it before, but people can receive anywhere from, as you know, $600 on up to like $1,500 depending on the year. Alaska's property tax is about average, and there are no inheritance or estate taxes in the state. Alright everyone, the video has come to end. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day and be kind to each other.